I could be your hero, but I can't get out of bed. There's too much in my head. I could be more faithful, but I fail at that habit. So I run around instead. I wanna be good to myself, love hard to breathe more, drink less. I wanna be seen in my best, sleep more, be nice, a lot less. All I need is 21 days and I'm fine. January 1, I'ma still need more time. Every single year, yeah, it never fails, I try. But maybe I don't ever wanna put down this life. I could be your best friend, but I can't pick up my phone. Let it ring cause no one's home. I'm always judging and degrading. I should stop all that, I'm sure, but I'm just too insecure. I wanna be good to myself, love hard to breathe more, drink less. I wanna be seen in my best, sleep more, be nice, a lot less. All I need is 21 days and I'm fine. January 1, I'ma still need more time. Every single year, yeah, it never fails, I try. But maybe I don't ever wanna put down this life. All I need is 21 days and I'm fine. January 1, I'ma still need more time. Every single year, yeah, it never fails, I try. But maybe I don't ever wanna put down this life.
Start thinking, all the details start to sink in. I don't care about the keep losing to a moment where I'm with you, I just can't focus. I love to hear your crazy theories about conspiracies on TV. I know the truth and it's so simple. Blame it all on stupid impulse, and I keep living out of my head. Just forgive me for my silence, 'cause I will try to play my part. My lies memorized in my heart, 'cause I will try to play my part. My lies memorized in my heart, 'cause I will try to play my part. My lies memorized in my heart.
Hello there, hello there, hello there. YouTube's, Twitch, intergalactic people, breaking into the signal or whatever. I presume there are aliens watching. Hello to you too. Although would that help towards the numbers? I don't know. I don't know if I get a click for illegal aliens tapping into the signal. But if they do, you should subscribe. I am Kevin Logan, I think I speak on behalf of all the human race. I think that's certainly true. The fuck am I talking about? Anyway, welcome to a special Sunday broadcast to all of the aliens. I wasn't planning on doing an alien intro. That happened. Anyway. Yes. Welcome, one and all. There are lots of important things happening in the world, right? And I'll get onto those tomorrow, possibly with a doctor. Depends if she's interested in doing it or wants to do it or is feeling okay or whatever. I have no reason to believe she wouldn't be, but, it's her business. So possibly, whatever. Tonight we're going to be focusing on something relatively unimportant, although still kind of important because we're going to be diving into the shallow end of the Tim pool. Half with it, half bred, half finished high school. Give you a piece of my mind. Though I know you looked about it. Oh, what was the other... this from the Bloodhound Gang song, and I've totally forgotten it. I used to use a song for a weapon, not a sword. Struck a chord. If I wanted to see stars, I'd watch the Academy Awards. Anyway. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So, we're going to be taking a look at Tim Pool anyway, for what it's worth. Why isn't the thingy-majig going on the screen? Why isn't my chat moving? That doesn't look right, does it? Evening all. Yeah, that hasn't moved in a little while. I'll fix that straight away. I don't know why that's doing not doing its thing. That doesn't make sense at all. The connection's good, so it shouldn't. Oh, there we go. There we go. I don't know why it's decided to stop and then start again. Yeah, there we go. Okay, it fixed itself. Whatever. What's this person saying in the Twitch chat? You should look up the stupid garbage that Vosh said about TJ Kirk. He said the Amazing Atheist is a full-on left-wing guy like him, and his audience should support the Amazing Atheist. It's like he's never seen TJ's video on Milo Stewart or how he said gentrification is good. Yeah. I mean, I've got no plan on doing that tonight, necessarily. But thank you for the message, nonetheless. Yeah. No, TJ Kirk isn't a leftist. That's silly. TJ Kirk is a TJ Kirkist. That's the only thing TJ Kirk's ever really been interested in. And I don't trust him for a second. Anyway, doesn't matter. The cursed image on the screen is it's Tim Pool's head. It's like a palindrome of Tim Pool's face, basically. Or the bottom half of his face, where it reads the same. Either way. You can flip that image upside down and it's still his face, with his upside down top face. Ah! Anyway. That's how that works. And my chat stopped scrolling again. Why is it doing this? Oh, it must just be YouTube fucking glitching. Doesn't matter. Anyway, I've only got one thing for you tonight. It's a Tim Pool thing. We'll get to it in a second. We're going to be looking at the Beanie Uprising. Continued! Yeah. So, before I do that, I suppose I should plug some stuff. Right. Clips channel. You can go and subscribe to the Clips channel. I put up clips of these streams every day or so, usually. Whatever. Yeah, go and do that. That would be cool. I've got obviously my backup channel and my Twitch channel. Go and follow the Twitch channel if you can, please. If you've got a Twitch channel, you can also subscribe to me there, which gives me money, and you can use the cat emote. There's a Rory Cats emote. Fancy. You can also subscribe there for free if you've got an Amazon Prime account. You can redistribute Jeff Bezos's trillions. I think he's probably up to trillions by now. Why is the fucking chat doing that? That's so frustrating. The only point in having the chat on there is so I don't have to look at the... Well, it obviously something interesting on the screen, and I like chatting with you and all the rest of it, but it means that I can look at the thing, check my OBS is working, and still see the chat. Whereas now I have to flick back to the fucking thing, because it's not scrolling for some fucking reason. Anyway. Right, you can also check me out at... or you can toss me a few bucks if you're free to do so, if you've got money to throw away, basically, at streamlabs.com/KFLogan1875. It's in the description underneath the YouTube video, and you can throw me a super chat that way, because the super chat function on YouTube I don't have access to because YouTube demonetised me, because Nazis are okay, but apparently I'm not. The world is a fucked up place. So yeah, and you can subscribe, of course, to the main YouTube channel. You can do that. Lots of people watch me. They don't always subscribe. You can smash the ever-loving shit out of the like button, out of the subscribe button. Don't just press it. Don't just press the like button. Don't just press the subscribe button. Smash the shit out of them. Destroy them. Okay? That's what I want. Anyway. Tim Pool. Tim Pool is one of the most phenomenally stupid human beings in the world, which is dangerous because he has a rather large audience. Because, again, as pointed out with the whole YouTube demonetisation of me thing, YouTube are garbage, and they're happy to sort of steer people down far right rabbit holes. And They... Oh, hang on, we've got a thing. Apologies, I'm being distracted. Well, thank you to Constance Block, who subscribed with their Prime. I'm enormously grateful. Socialism is enormously grateful. We're going to bankrupt not Soros. No, Soros be praised. We're going to bankrupt... we're going to bankrupt Jeff Bezos. One Amazon subscription at a time. You can follow along if you want to. Anyway. Yeah, the chat, for some reason, the chat on the screen isn't scrolling. I don't know why it's doing. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's so annoying. Should we just try putting the fucking URL back in? 1 second, everyone. I'll get to Tim Pool in just a second. Live chat. Copy. Apologies, everyone. We'll do it live. No, it didn't change anything. No, for some reason, the chat thing does not want to work tonight. Whatever. Maybe it'll do something at some point. Anyway, Tim Pool is a dickhead. He's an idiot dickhead. He's a dickhead who's an idiot. I think I've mentioned that before. But he does have a substantial following, because YouTube's happy to sort of funnel people down far-right rabbit holes. And he is far-right. Don't for a second think he isn't, right? Hang on a minute, I'll get up his... Tim Pool alt-right. There's a famous, well, I suppose infamous, whatever, image of Tim Pool. Here he is, right. Apologies, everybody. There we go, right. So, this is the person Tim Pool doesn't want you to know that he is, okay? Here we see an assortment of far-right garbage. You've got Baked Alaska, currently only out on electronic tag because of his involvement in the January 6th insurrection. You've got, is that Nick Fuentes, who was involved in that, although since hasn't been arrested yet. You've got James Alsop, who's a piece of fucking trash far-rightist. You've got Brittany... she was Pettibone at the time. She's now married. She's Brittany Sellner, because obviously, being far-right, she couldn't possibly have... keep her name or hyphenate or anything like that. Obviously not. Thank you to Priority 76. Says, here's £1. Dance for me, sexy buffalo man. That's not part of the deal. I read the thing out and I give you a silly response. I'm not a dancing monkey. Although I am, like all human beings, kind of monkey. Anyway, and that's Tim Pool there. See the red arrow? That's Tim Pool. Noted centrist Timothy Pool. Yeah, so Tim Pool is a far-right piece of shit. I'll keep that image there, because I suspect we'll be needing to go back to it, won't we? Anyway, well, I suspect because I've seen the video we're about to watch. Now, this by no means is the most important thing happening in the world today, but as this is a special Sunday broadcast and not one of the main things, the only thing we're looking at tonight is this video by Tim Pool. There we go. Oh, for fuck's sake. Why won't it resize properly? There we go. So it's called, Democrats are worried Republicans in Congress might kill them. AOC says she narrowly escaped death. That's the full fucking title. With his typical pithy style, old Tim swooping in here. Yes, so that's we're going to look at this Tim Pool video. Now, for the first time, I've covered Tim Pool 1,000,001 times. At no point have I ever actually gotten through an entire Tim Pool video. I don't think. Usually, like, I get towards the end. And the reason for that is, it's impossible, okay? Or nearly impossible. His videos are usually 30, 40, 50 minutes long, sometimes even longer. And you have to stop every 5 fucking seconds to point out his absolute monumental idiocy, his lies, his hypocrisy. So it's really difficult and it takes a long time. So I've got just this one video. We're just going to look at one video tonight. It's 29 minutes and 52 seconds long, and I'm going to try and get through every fucking second of it. Outside of maybe skipping, I think he does an advert at one point. He usually does adverts. Anyway. Tim Pool is, like I say, a dangerous idiot who lies constantly. He's a mouthpiece for the far right. That picture, again, I'll get it back up for everyone. There, right? This image, that's the real Tim Pool. That's him again with Lauren Southern. There, you know, he's got a lot of far right friends. Let's say he's a mouthpiece for the far right. At no point is he the centrist / disillusioned leftist that he pretends to be. So trying to point all of that is difficult, but we're going to try it, okay? And this video annoyed me because the first couple of minutes especially, he's just crammed with solid hypocrisy, lies, distortion and bullshit. So I thought, I'm bored on Sunday afternoon / well, it's evening now, 9 p.m, that's evening. And I hope everyone's had a good weekend. I meant to say that in the intro. I got stuck talking about fucking aliens because my brain doesn't work properly. Anyway, yeah, let's take a look at Tim talking shit.
NBC News reports some Democrats in Congress are worried their colleagues might kill them. That headline sounds a bit sensational, but it's true. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
It sounds sensational. It sounds sensational. This is Tim Pool, who I think is like bound by some sort of deep psychological need to mention civil war in every video he ever does, talking about other people being sensationalist. Fun times.
As notably said that she narrowly escaped with her life and was concerned that far-right members of Congress would reveal her location while the Capitol siege was taking place. NBC News adds, House members openly accuse far-right representatives of threatening their health and safety after Capitol riot. It's not just the Capitol riots. They're also complaining about COVID because there's a video where Republicans wouldn't put on masks. Now,
there's not just one video where Republicans do that. Republicans have refused consistently to wear masks. Constantly. They've even joked about like coughing in faces and stuff. They're scum.
AOC and many others had been railing on Lauren Boebert, a Republican member of Congress, newly elected, claiming she revealed Nancy Pelosi's location, putting her life at risk, and that she must be investigated. But all Lauren Boebert tweeted was, Nancy Pelosi has been removed from the chamber. Mike Pence and Chuck Grassley were removed as well, and many people tweeted that, and no one accused the Democrats of revealing the location.
Look, just because lots of other people tweeted other things, look, Tim, you don't get to just say, some other people did a thing that's similar. That doesn't really matter, okay? Lauren Boebert did specifically mention that without needing to do so, she didn't need to put this out there. She knew that these people were an imminent danger. That's why they were evacuating the House of Representatives and the Senate, and said, oh, she's not in the chamber anymore. So she was narrowing down for these fucking violent lunatics who were there to specifically murder people like Nancy Pelosi, narrowing down where this person was in the building. Because the Capitol building is significantly sized, but it's not infinite. There are only a set number of places she could have been in, and she was narrowing it down for everyone. That's a fucked up thing to have done. Okay?
This seems to be an extreme and unhinged exaggeration.
Motherfucker! An extreme unhinged exaggeration is your entire business model. That's all you are. That's all you fucking do. Your entire shtick is, oh, the BLM knocked over a bin. Civil war! Be afraid! Be very afraid! That's your entire shtick. Shut the fuck up.
Calm down, people.
He wants everyone else to calm down. Everyone else needs to calm down. Tim, you're so fearmongery about fucking civil war that you're not just doing bullshit, trying to fucking hype up a civil war in America anymore. Where's the thing? What channel's this on? It's on one of his fucking channels. I saw it earlier. Timcast, maybe?
The story of Wall Street.
Yeah, here we go. Dutch mayor warns COVID riots pushing country to civil war. You're even trying to fucking stoke and fearmonger about a fucking civil war in the Netherlands. It's a different fucking continent. The fuck is wrong with you? Fucking hell. The hypocrisy here is just maddening. Absolutely fucking maddening. God damn it.
Far-right representatives? Who are you talking about? Lauren Boebert? Why? Because she brought a gun with her?
No, because she is far right. Because she and Taylor Greene, Marjorie Taylor Greene, are far right. I would argue several other of them are as well. But those two specifically on this occasion will flag up, right? Are definitely far right. They are definitely like QAnon supporters, or at least in the case of Boebert has sort of... She's QAnon adjacent, if nothing else, right? They are far right. They have pushed far right conspiracy theories. They have threatened violence against people. They are far right, Tim. You can try and fucking placate it as much as you like. You can try and smooth over it and say, oh, well, actually, it's the Democrats that are the real bad ones, because that's your entire fucking MO, your entire shtick. But that doesn't get away from the fact that they are far right. And again, Tim, I will point out, you are far right, you fucking dipshit, enjoying drinks and fucking fun times with the alt-right, while describing like AOC as the biggest threat to America and all this fucking nonsense. You're a lunatic. You're a dickhead.
This is extreme radicalization, but it shows you the dramatic divide between the left and the right.
This is extreme radicalisation. Not him pushing far-right propaganda. No, that's not extreme radicalisation.
Are you really that scared to be around someone with a gun? I don't go around thinking just because someone's got a gun, they're going to shoot me.
No, but there's a difference, Tim, isn't there, right? There's a difference between a random person with a gun, although I don't like guns particularly, but whatever. A random person with a gun and, say, a member of Congress who literally supported the executing of prominent Democrats. Tim. That would be a very, very specific instance here, right, of an actual person who wants to be able to bring guns into the Congress, who was called for support for or has supported executing prominent Democrats. Tim. She also, hang on, where's the thing here? Having talked about Nancy Pelosi specifically, she literally called for the execution of Nancy Pelosi as well. Let's have a look at that little gem, shall we?
She took an oath to protect American citizens and uphold our laws, and she gives aid and comfort to our enemies who illegally invade our land. That's what treason is. Exactly. And by our law, representatives and senators can be kicked out and no longer serve in our government. And it's a crime punishable by death, is what treason is.
So Nancy Pelosi has committed treason, and treason is a crime punishable by death. So she is literally invoking violence against Nancy Pelosi. Okay? So, I'm sorry, Tim. There are far-right members in the Republican Party, in the Congress, not just random people, in the Congress, elected representatives. They have called for violence against members of Congress. They have tried to bring weapons into Congress. Yeah, I think AOC and her colleagues are very right to be a little trepidatious, a little bit fearful of what these people might get up to, considering they believe that they're part of a satanic pedophile cabal. Tim.
I guess when you live in these cities, though, and you're fed the narrative that police officers are going around hunting people and killing them, they assume that at any moment someone with a...
Hunting them? Is that a thing that anyone's ever really said? Who's saying that police are going around hunting folk? Is that a thing? God damn. Like, I mean, there's no doubt that the police are bad. But they're not necessarily going around hunting. Like, again, Tim, in terms of sensationalising and trying to radicalise people, that is what you do. That is what you're doing right now.
Gun would just use it. It shows very little trust in your fellow man. But more importantly, I mean, think about any war or conflict. What happens when someone wants to surrender, or when both sides realize that all is lost and there has to be some kind of negotiation? You know, there's rules of engagement. There's flying the white flag. We're not even in any kind of actual conflict. Lauren Boebert is just...
Are you sure, Tim? Because you've predicted and you've said we're in a civil war. You have literally said that. You have consistently gone on about there being a cold civil war. Now let's take a look at his videos. This is his main channel, although you could do this with any of his channels. We'll go and take a look at his videos, right? They've always... the civil war, civil war, civil war, all the fucking time. Why is this taking forever to load? Why is my internet being shit tonight? Stop being shit. Oh, for fuck's sake. Right, we'll try again. Jesus. There we go. Fucking hell.
in a stunning turn...
Shut up, you cunt. Right. Oh, he's talking about Wall Street there. Kobe writes that civil war. Cold civil war. Where are we at? Breakers to arrest lockdown. Oh, that's the one we're watching. Where he's already talked about there being a civil war. Violence planned there. Democrats plan expulsion. Inciting insurrection. Purge. Listen to the language he's constantly using all the time. Have taken over Capitol Hill. Oh, that was the video where he's literally excited about that. Trump makes his last stand. Military coup. Outrage. Revolt. Storming the Capitol building. Hang on. Tim Pool keeps saying there will be a civil war. Let's have a look at this then.
And I gotta say, like, we're living in I feel like we're looking at the doorway to the nightmare dystopia of...
Yeah.
There have been statements from foreign security advisors, international security experts saying we're facing down high probability of civil war. And I know it sounds crazy. We are in a cold civil war, to a potential civil war. People might say I'm a little alarmist when I mention a potential civil war.
Really, Tim?
I'm sure there's gonna be a ton of people who look at the title of this video and say something like, Tim's being hyperbolic. It may not be as extreme as it was in the 1800s. I'm not saying it's gonna be like, 1800s. It's not gonna be like it was in the 1800s. Many people have referred to the coming of the Second American Civil War. Some things
coming.
Talk of civil war. We're in a civil war. We are in a
So we are in a civil war. You just heard him.
civil war. Civil war for a second civil war.
We are all gonna die!
Conflict.
Was to accelerate the measure.
This gets a thumb up.
Social upheaval.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
You know what, man? I'm fairly resigned to this future happening, no matter what we do about it. And so I bought a van, and I'm gonna convert it to a...
Jesus Christ.
Well, I'm converting it to a workstation, right?
Even Joe Rogan's dunking on it. Sorry. Thank you to Claydonius for subscribing, and also Claydonius for gifting a sub to Firmacute. Thank you very much. Very generous. You can also do so via the links below, if you want to. It's a thing you can do. Anyway, so yeah, Tim Pool's like, we're not even in a conflict, even though he talks about civil war. He talks about civil war like crackheads talk about crack. They constantly have to crack.
Another representative who happens to have a gun. There's hundreds of millions of guns in this country. This all stems from some incident where, after the storming of the Capitol, metal detectors were put in. Nancy Pelosi wanted more security. And Lauren Boebert apparently walked through, the alarms go off, and she's like, I'm not stopping, you're not searching me. She said it's her right to be armed and has repeatedly,
No, not on the floor of the Capitol building. And indeed, actually, not necessarily in Washington, D.C.
repeatedly talked about even putting out an ad.
Oh,
Look,
she's
we're
going to put out an
seeing a
ad.
level of intensity
Oh.
that I've never seen in my lifetime, when you have comments like this coming from Democrats, and I wonder how much of it is legitimate fear and how much of it is grifting.
This motherfucker's going to talk about grifting. This motherfucker's going to talk about grifting. Motherfucker's going to grift you into a fucking second Gettysburg or some shit. Fucking wanker.
Because think about the narrative that can be played from the perpetual victims. I love how the left claims the right always wants to be a victim. Oh, the Republicans.
Yeah, because you do. You constantly do. Look, I don't even know where to begin with it, Tim. Have you seen the latest Steven Crowder thing? They're fucking desperate to... Oh, I'll show you. Steven Crowder, for those who don't know, I'm getting distracted now with nonsense. I said I was only going to look at this, but fuck it. It's in my head now. Right, Steven Crowder's been away from YouTube for like a month or something. He's another far-right grifting shitbag. Anyway, so, and look, hang on, I'll take you onto the thing. Right. Oops. Time for it. Look, so that's all of his uploads, right? He uploaded a month ago. Then he uploaded Time for an Explanation, so like where he's been and stuff. And then he released this thing, and it's just... holy shitballs. Remember, he put this out on his own channel, right? By the way, I don't know what's going on with the chat. It keeps, like, random messages will pop up and it'll scroll up one. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know.
After the battle of 2020, Crowder readies before the legions of big tech apply. Our Mug Club warriors are outnumbered and exhausted, but it is not fear that grips them, only a heightened sense of things. Cool air in their lungs, the wind sweeping the plugs which stand atop the head of the professed victor. The former vice president and would-be God King sits atop his throne as he speaks to an undefeated foe.
Crowder, despite your insufferable arrogance, the God King has come to admire your fighting spirit and your mugs. You could make a mighty ally, man, even in light of your continued insults, your horrid hate speech blasphemies. The Lord...
God almighty, this is cringe, isn't it? This is some real cringe shit. Yeah, 300 definitely had some fascist undertones, yeah, because it was written by a fascist. About a real event, which kind of had some fascist undertones too, but it was a long time ago, to be fair. Fascism isn't really, in the context of the ancient world, fascism doesn't really make any fucking sense, but yeah.
Lord of Hosts is prepared to forgive all and more to reward your service.
Also, how much of a bitch is Steven Crowder that he referred to him as the former vice president? Still won't even call him the president. What a fucking bitch.
You fight for your channel, man. Keep it. You fight for your whole thing. Keep them too. Your victory will be complete if you but lay down your arms and kneel before your holy former vice president.
Bitch. Steven Crowder is a bitch who can't accept defeat. So desperate to be a victim, man. He's so desperate to be like, oh, I'm outnumbered. You've got so much dark money behind you and the right, you fucking dickheads. Like, I wish I could have the production values of this. I wish I had the kind of money that would allow for this nonsense. Imagine having that kind of financial backing. Billionaires pissing money into your fucking channels and then going, oh, we're the victims. We're the underdogs. Fucking hell. I wonder if he's going to start calling Xerxes of Persia a lispy queer at any point. I wonder. What? Look at the production values, man. How can you imagine having this money and thinking you're the underdog? Well, that's mixing up parts of the movie. That's much earlier in the movie than the actual Battle of Thermopylae. Well, I, for one, cannot wait. Sorry, Bob cannot wait mean he should be kicked off YouTube. Should have been a long time ago. Anyway, that's Stephen Crowder. He's a dickhead. I don't know what's happening here, but there's the chat is going a little bit now. It's kind of. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, that's right-wing victimhood, just in a nutshell. I've got enough money that I can recreate the fucking battles from the Thermopylae from 300 quite well. The production values are excellent. Imagine having that kind of money behind you, I'll repeat myself, and thinking that you're the underdog. That's victimhood. Complete and utter.
Republicans are trying so hard to be victims. And truth be told, there's that famous photo of Katie Hopkins with a target on her head. And I'm like, chill. Why do you want to be a victim? Why do you want to pretend to be a victim? I don't. I want to be...
Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about? You're always going on about censorship, big tech censorship. Donald Trump, everyone needs to be nice to Donald Trump. Fucking idiot. You're constantly playing the victim.
Be successful and confident myself, recognizing that sometimes bad people do bad things, and yeah, they do hurt you, but I'm going to rely on myself, and I'm not going to play that game. The left, however, they're always victims. It's the oppression Olympics.
Dude, it's not 2015. You can't just spew out this same shit all the time. Fucking embarrassing, man. He really is. It's the oppression Olympics. See how this is why it's difficult to get through a Tim Pool video. 3 minutes and 20 seconds in, and it's taken me over half an hour.
So, of course, AOC is going to take every opportunity to say, oh, no, I fear for my life.
Yeah, because they've literally been... I've just shown you, Tim. Well, you're not watching this, but I've shown everyone else. There have been people in the Congress now who want to take guns onto the floor of Congress who have literally called for the execution of Democrats. That's not playing the victim. That's actually being a victim. That's actually literally them trying to target you for violence.
Listen.
And especially AOC, by the way, because AOC, she has a higher recognition percentage amongst Republican voters than she does against with their Democratic voters. Because to Democrats, she's a relatively young, not particularly influential or experienced or high prestige member of the Democratic representative caucus, right? She's not that big a deal at this point. She could become with time, who knows? But right now, not massively so. Whereas amongst Republicans, they've had the likes of Sean Hannity and Tucker Carlson and OAN and Newsmax and fucking all of these people. AOC's a communist. She's an evil piece of shit. Rammed down their throats constantly. So her name brand recognition amongst Republicans is very, very high in a very, very negative way, okay? If Lauren Boebert or Marjorie Taylor Greene was to murder AOC, a very significant proportion of the American population would celebrate that. Okay? And you know that, Tim. You know that full well. Because secretly, you would be one of them. Outwardly, you'd be like, I condemn this act of violence, it's a terrible, awful thing. But inwardly, we know you will have jerked off at least 3 or 4 times before making that video.
We are really getting to that point that people believe Republicans and Democrats will start shooting at each other. Do you have any... Can I just think about that for a second?
That has already happened in American history, dude. Not just the Civil War. There have been people who have shot at politicians. Ronald Reagan was shot, you know. Yeah. It was a thing.
I once again would like to give a shout out to all the people who said Tim Pool was wrong for talking about Civil War as often as he did.
You were wrong. Because, I mean, there isn't actually a civil war. There's a lot of tension. There's a lot of unrest. There's a lot of divide. And I hope that can be overcome, although I have my doubts. But it's not actually a civil war, Tim. That's not what a civil war is, you fucking dopey shitbag. So you were and are wrong, both factually and morally. Morally, you're very, very wrong for talking about it as much as you have. Mentioning it as, like, a thing that could happen every now and then, yeah, that's true. It's a lot of tension. A lot of tension. But you are wrong on every possible level for having mentioned it as much as you have. You're a farce.
They're claiming that Republicans, members of Congress, might kill them. Okay, well, all right.
Only because they've kind of supported the idea of killing them and want to take guns into a place that they, you know, were happy was being invaded by people who also wanted to kill them. But apart from that, what reason do they have to think that they want to kill them? Have you ever considered that, libs?
All right, let me slow down and actually just break down for you what's really happening.
I hope you do
but
break
I'm
down,
tell you, man,
Tim.
I do feel the escalation because Delta is apparently now expanding its...
No. You want the escalation. You don't feel it, Tim. You need that escalation. That is your business model.
No-fly list, 880 people. Amtrak wants no-fly to pertain to trains. I guess you'll just drive yourself.
Yeah, or just stay the fuck where you are. I mean, especially in a pandemic, you really oughtn't be travelling very far anyway, but whatever.
And more importantly, a new poll shows that 2/3 of Trump supporters still support him after everything. And
well, yeah, but that means a third haven't. So, in the course of the last few weeks, a third of his support base has gone away, which is something, you know? That gives you hope. It kind of feels like, I tell you with Trump, it kind of feels like he's the guy that, like, have you ever been, I mean, I'm a people watcher, so maybe I'm the weird one here, but there's a thing, when you in, like, a park, and you know the duck pond thing, right, the ducks all crowd around when the guy's got bread, and then as soon as he runs out of bread, the ducks are like, oh, fuck this noise, and they all waddle off and swim off and go and do normal duck shit, right? In some cases, quite literally do a duck shit, you know, they've just eaten. And that's kind of what it's like with Trump. Trump feels like people are moving away from him like the ducks who know there's no more bread left. Bread in this analogy being power, political power, or governmental power anyway. He still has some political power in the sense that he commands the support of, as Tim says, 2/3 of his base, whatever. But yeah, a lot of people are moving away from him now because he's yesterday's man. He's the defeated heavyweight, quite literally because he's a fat fuck. But that's not fattest. I'm fat. That's our word. Anyway, yeah, he's without governmental power. He can't pardon people, so people that need pardons aren't sucking his dick anymore, sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it feels like.
Trump's approval rating is hovering around 40% after the storming of the Capitol. Think about what that means.
There are 40% of Americans who are fascist scum. Yeah, that's not massively surprising, Tim. That's not massively surprising at all. When he said he could go onto Fifth Avenue and shoot someone and he wouldn't lose any support, that's true. In fact, those people would have hardened in their support if that was a black guy. So, you know.
So you know what? Let me walk things back. Maybe AOC's not wrong. Maybe she's just a little too freaked out. I don't think you've got anything to worry about from Republicans trying to shoot or kill you. That's kind of nuts. But maybe there's a real reason to be afraid of the other right now, because both sides are apparently shaking and terrified of each other. I don't mean that literally. I just mean that
the words you say mean something, Tim. So don't say a thing and then go, well, I don't really mean that. Don't say it then. Say something else. This is pre-recorded, you twat.
The tensions are so intense that people really do feel that we're in a standoff. Let's read this story.
Standoff,
Before we
Tim.
do, head over to timcast.
A standoff is not a civil war. A standoff is a standoff. Now, you can have standoffs in a civil war. That is true. But this isn't one of those things. This is a different thing to that. Timothy. Is it back to... Oh, it's kind of, the chat's almost back to working. The last is... Oh, there's 5 or 6 after that haven't come up. So it's faltering, but there's some of them are getting through. So, yeah. Anyway. But if you want to definitely get your message through, you can go to streamlabs.com/KFLogan 1875. The message will get to me. I will read it out. I will not dance, though. Dancing is not part of the the dealio. It's linked below, though.
.com to support my work, and you can become a member and get access to exclusive podcast segments. We're basically trying to secure a safety net. We don't have to worry about to run our that are having issues with signing up, through everything. It's all greatly appreciated. Don't forget to read the news. NBC News says, after last...
Also, isn't it interesting that Tim despises the mainstream media? Absolutely hates the mainstream media. And yet gives nothing but like mainstream media sources and stuff? Like, oh, the NBC are full of lies and blah, 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 and yet he'll read an NBC article and riff off that and make money. Interesting.
Last week's deadly assault on the U.S. Capitol by supporters of President Donald Trump. Members of Congress are expressing something once unthinkable, that some of their own colleagues may be endangering their lives, not in a rhetorical sense, but in a direct and immediate way.
I don't know why that would be unthinkable as such. That has happened before. Famously, Brooks, Senator Brooks beat Senator... why can't I think of his fucking name? Anyway, hang on. So, let's do this. Senator Brooks beats. This was just before the American Civil War. The caning of Charles Sumner, or the Brooks-Sumner affair, on May the 22nd. So, one day after my minus 131st birthday. Preston Brooks, a pro-slavery Democrat from South Carolina, used a walking cane to attack Senator John Sumner, an abolitionist Republican from Massachusetts. So yeah. So that's happened before, and he beat him very, very badly as well. He was put into what is the equivalent of a hospital. I don't know if you'd call them hospitals nowadays. Lace Argar, thank you very much, says, no comment, only money. Technically, that comment is self-defeating, because that is a comment. But thank you nonetheless. Very appreciated.
It's the most poisonous I've ever seen. Rep. Don Bayer, a Democrat from Virginia, said in an interview...
There is old Russian saying...
Shut the fuck up. Anyway, I need to stop. I need to get fucking ad block.
There's the overall sense that maybe if some of them have guns, and likely the ones who are more into conspiracy theories and QAnon with the satanic rings, are we safe from them?
Why are you laughing at that, Tim? Why did you laugh at that? Oh, that wasn't a thing. We know Marjorie Taylor Greene is very, very firmly pro QAnon, or a QAnon supporter, whatever.
Since the deadly riot, January 6th, lawmakers have...
So he's not even going to argue against it. He's just going to chuckle. He's just going to smuckle to himself as he reads it. Cunt.
Suggested, not so far backed up by any evidence, that far-right colleagues may have helped plan or guide the attack. Okay, I got to stop right there and just say, bravo, NBC News. You know what I love about the mainstream media? They love doing this thing where it's like, Trump claimed, comma, without evidence, comma. Here, they almost do it to the left, but they do this. They say, not...
But Trump does make constantly fucked up accusations.
So far backed up by evidence, as if... To imply at some point they will come up with evidence that...
Yeah, because there's an ongoing investigation, Tim. And we know that these people were giving guided tours days beforehand, when that was not allowed because of COVID restrictions. So why the fuck were they taking these boogaloo twats around the Congress building? That suggests there's some evidence there. Tim, if this were the other way round, you would have already said AOC did this. So don't pretend like you're some voice of nuanced reason in discussion, because you're fucking not.
That far-right Republicans were leading rioters to them. Just chill out, people, man.
Yeah, just chill out and make a video about how the Netherlands is going to descend into a civil war. Because riots always end up in civil war.
There are particular concerns about some newly elected members who have espoused extremist views, including comments supportive of the QAnon lie that accuses perceived enemies of Trump of being part of a child-abusing cult. Yes, my friends, the QAnon stuff is just nuts. I'm sorry, that's just true.
See, Tim knows his audience. Any normal person with a normal audience wouldn't need to go, I'm sorry, but QAnon's mad. You just go, QAnon's fucking mad, isn't it? And think, well, my viewers are sane, so they would definitely agree with me. Whereas he has to apologise. He has to be like, sorry, man, but it's not, QAnon's a bit rough. No, it's not cool, man, yeah? Okay? Like, he knows he's got a far-right conspiracy dipshit audience.
A lot of people don't like it, but what you need to understand is that, for over the past year, I didn't know a whole lot about that stuff because it never really came up as I read the news.
Don't fucking lie, Tim. You know all about it. You fucking lying shitbag. Christy Winters with $5. Yeah, Christy, you are too kind. And absolutely amazing Bristols. Don't even get me started. Danny. What? Hang on. Danny. Marcus Carter's older brother said she had been fingered up the duck pond. Christy, don't do that to me live on air. It's outrageous. That's I don't even know what show's that from. Is that Little Britain possibly? I can't even remember. But thank you nonetheless, Dr. Winters. If you're in the chat, I might as well discuss it with you now. Bollocks to it. Are you up for tomorrow? I don't even know. I haven't contacted you about it, but there we go. Is that from League of Gentlemen? Oh, well, there we go. I've just totally forgotten. But anyway, thank you, Krista. Much appreciated. If you want to do so, save the links below. Streamlabs, go to the link.
Don't care for conspiracy theories because, look, man, some people think the Earth is flat.
God damn it, Christy. Ugh.
Some people think, there's Montauk experiments or whatever and, like, ancient aliens. No one's ragging on ancient aliens, I guess.
Yeah, because it's too silly. The thing is, Tim, no one's ragging on ancient aliens because it's not really a dangerous conspiracy theory. It's a bit racist when you examine the underlying aspect of it, but it's not like inherently dangerous. I don't think anyone's going to go and say shoot up a pizzeria on the basis of ancient aliens. QAnon, on the other hand, and its subset Pizzagate, that did happen. They did go up and shoot up a pizzeria in Washington DC. They do want to execute leading members of America's, well, in Britain as well, but whatever, America's Congress, the representatives and senators. They want them executed. They want ex-presidents executed. They want to do a lot of very, very bad crimes on the basis of QAnon. So no one's ragging on ancient aliens because even though it's equally incorrect, by which I mean completely fucking incorrect, it's not really dangerous. Whereas QAnon is both very, very dangerous and now has representatives in the House of Representatives who believe it. Whereas I don't think there's anyone who believes ancient aliens there. And even if they did, it probably wouldn't be great, but wouldn't be very dangerous. So again, your equivocation can suck my anus.
But I started looking into this QAnon stuff because, the news picked up, more people got banned, it became more prevalent, and then there were some politicians who were like, posing in front of signs. And then I started reading about some of the stuff. They apparently thought Mueller was working for Donald Trump, and I'm like...
Oh, it's from Hot Fuzz. Okay. Oh, yeah, it's Danny. It's Tim... Fuck's sake. What's the actor called who plays Danny from Hot Fuzz? Nick Frost. Nick Frost. Anyway.
like, wait, are you kidding me? That whole, like, Trump was being investigated. He jammed Mueller, hurt Trump bad.
I don't think he really did. He hurt a lot of his associates, but he didn't really nail Trump as such. It was pretty weak in the end. But, I mean, I agree they weren't working with... Mueller wasn't working with Trump. But again, the fact that that's the aspect of... that's quite a niche element of QAnon. Most QAnon people don't believe that. Most QAnon people think Mueller is part of the satanic pedophile cult who are working against Donald Trump. So the fact that that's the way he goes, he's trying to be like, oh, QAnon's actually anti-Trump in some way, when it isn't. QAnon relies on support for Donald Trump.
There's been a bunch of things that has just been wrong.
And Donald Trump relies on support from QAnon.
To the point where Alex Jones, the man himself, was screaming that it's all lies. And I'm just like, whoa. When you got...
Yeah. But again, just to add the actual piece of nuance to this, Tim, that you claimed you wanted in everything here. Alex Jones wasn't saying it's a lie just because it was incorrect. Because as you know, Alex Jones says very incorrect things. And when you had Alex Jones on your show, you didn't really press him. You mainly kind of... tickled his urethra with your tongue. Urethra, is that right? I don't know, anyway. Whatever. Perineum, whatever. Anyway, Alex Jones was saying QAnon was wrong because it was a psyop done by the cabal that he does believe exists, because that's the thing. Alex Jones basically believes most of the same things QAnon does, but he doesn't like the fact that it's openly, A, his competitor in the conspiracy market, and B, it constantly makes like absolute deadline, this will happen by this day thing that gets completely disproven because that date passes and the thing doesn't happen. Yeah, hence why we don't have King Donald Trump of America or whatever. Anyway, so Alex Jones thinks it's a psyop by the cabal that he does think exists, who are satanic pedophiles in his eyes, to distract from the actual satanic pedophile cult that does exist. So he's saying it's a smokescreen by actual satanic pedophiles, which means he basically doesn't disagree with Q, he just wants Q out of the way. Q's a competitor that he needs to be. It's an embarrassing competitor. It's ruining his gig, you know?
Alex Jones calling out a conspiracy, then like, you've really gone too far, man. Maybe people don't want to believe it, but you really got to come back from that edge, man. That stuff is just not true. I can't tell you how many times I've heard this stuff. But does that mean just because someone believes this, they're going to go and hurt a politician?
They've already shot up a pizzeria place, yes. They've already planted fucking pipe bombs, yes. They've already fucking gone into the building, literally singing Hang Mike Pence, asking where AOC is, asking where Pelosi is. Yeah, Tim, that is literally, there is a very, very clear indication that QAnon have both threatened and actively tried to kill politicians. So, yes.
I don't think so. Look, I know what they're reporting. They're saying that, according to prosecutors, the rioters were planning on assassinating people. I take that very seriously, and I believe it's probably true of some of these people.
So it was just a few of them that wanted to go in and assassinate some people, but that's not a threat to anyone.
Come on, they claim that Q shaman guy, the guy with the horns, he said he's a life magic shaman. I'm pretty sure he's not, but I'm pretty sure that even if the fact that he believes he is means he's probably not going to go and hurt people.
He said he was going to go and hurt people. He said specifically he wanted to do that. He said he specifically wanted to overthrow the election, which would be hurting the entirety of American democracy as well, which, by the way, is a significant fucking problem and a very significant crime. Do enjoy your fucking prison meals, QAnon shaman, you dipshit. What? Your fucking apology for these people. BLM, if a BLM activist so much as farts in the direction of an official building or a police officer, that's enough for Tim to be like, these communist madmen, they want to take over America, they want to rape your babies, they want to kill your dog with a stick. Civil war! Whereas these motherfuckers can literally storm the Capitol building, kill a police officer, try and assassinate / kidnap American politicians, threaten to do so, damage any number of buildings, attack people, try and overthrow the democratically election process in America, try and destroy American democracy in totality, and he's just like, Oh, come on, he's a silly shaman man. He's not a threat to anybody. Cockhead.
He's just not well. But listen, far be it from me to claim that, I should tell people what to do with their security. No, hold on. I think all the Democrats should take this very seriously. I think that all the...
Except that this entire video is you mocking them for taking it seriously. Because at no point, so far, have you mentioned any quote from, say, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez or anyone else that suggests that they're definitely sure that Lauren Boebert is actually going to kill them. They've said they're worried about that. That's a concern for them. And not just them, their staff. Because, the staff work in that building too. And their family and friends who work outside who don't necessarily have police protection. There's a lot of things going on there, okay, Tim? It's not just that AOC thinks that she personally is under threat, which of course she is, regardless of how you wish to deny that. It's that all of those other people, potentially dozens of other human beings, whose safety is potentially put in danger by her existing as merely a representative of the people, that has to be taken into account too, okay? So, you trying to downplay this as if this is nothing is ridiculous.
Politicians should, especially they were threatening the life of Mike Pence. We want...
Yeah, exactly. This isn't just a Democrat versus Republican thing. They were specifically saying hang Mike Pence. They want to kill Republicans who they disagree with too. The 10... very brave, although it shouldn't be brave, of course. It should just be a perfectly normal thing to be able to do, to express one's political opinions when elected by the people to do so. The 10 GOP members of the House of Representatives who voted to impeach Donald Trump a couple of weeks back have all received death threats, have all received, or most of whom has received censure from their official parties, basically giving the green light to continue the harassment and potential endangerment of those people too. So it's not a party political issue, although I would argue it's mostly against Democrats. There are Republicans who this damages and potentially hurts too, which is why you really shouldn't be downplaying it, Tim. Because, it's everyone that's potentially in danger. Like... other than a few people who have been really pro-Trump, if they'd bust into that building and the entirety of the Senate and the entirety of the House of Representatives were there, they'd have took hostages from both sides. They'd have killed people from both sides. There's no doubt about it.
The security. We want our politicians protected. Look, I don't like Ocasio-Cortez. I really don't like Nancy Pelosi, but I want them.
Tim, the fact that you put money into Ocasio-Cortez as a primary opponent, who she then beat very, very comfortably, shows that you don't like her, Tim, and also that you have no idea what you're doing, dickhead.
Them to be safe, healthy, and live long, prosperous lives.
Yeah, of course you do.
I respect life, and I respect the idea. I respect the fact that I don't know everything. And while I read the news all day and may not like these people...
No, Tim, you do. You know everything, mate.
That's just not liking them.
You do. You know everything, Tim. That's why Trump won in a 49 landslide, didn't he? Because you know everything, yeah. No, Tim's the knower of things. He's one of the great knowers of things.
I just disagree. I want them to be safe and to feel good and to be comfortable and be able to do their jobs, and then we can have that argument.
Shut
I wouldn't vote for him.
Fuck up, Tim.
But I want everybody to be comfortable and safe. We really, really do want stability. So by all means...
Do we, Tim? Do we really, mate? Because you don't seem like you do want that. You seem like your entire business model is around civil war. You thirst for the civil war, Tim. You're a civil war chaser, my friend.
They should take this seriously. The problem is coming out and saying this stuff that
You forgot who won. Oh, sorry. I'll go and check. Apologies. U.S. presidential election results. Why doesn't it just give me the fucking results? Dickheads. That's the 2000. I don't want to fucking do that. There we go. 273. Where's the full... I fucking hate Google. Oh, fuck's sake. Anyway, this old prick, right? This old white prick here, right? He defeated this old orange prick here. That's what happened there. 306 to 232. It's a thing. God, that joke shouldn't have taken so long to set up. Fuck me. Fuck me dead.
far right, first of all, that Republicans are far right in the first place. They're not.
Not all of them. Many of them are, though, Tim. Many of them are. Many of them think, or certainly at least one of them thinks, that the California wildfires were started by Jewish space lasers. Tim. Many of them got on board with literally wanting to ban an entire religious group from going to the United States. Muslims, obviously, the Muslim travel ban thing. So yeah, many of them are far right, Tim. And again, so are you. So are you.
That they're a threat to you. Chill out, man. You are fanning the flames. We do not need this right now. All right?
Fanning the flames.
Here's what AOC said.
Tim, you're constantly going on about civil war, civil war, civil war. You don't get to go on about you're fanning the flame. You're outrageously sensationalist. Yeah, get on your fainting couch, prick.
Many of us narrowly escaped death. Rep. Ocasio-Cortez recounts Capitol insurrection. You know what, man? AOC is Lil Trump. Her and Trump are very different in many ways, but they're...
So you'll support her for president then? Because she's like Trump, yeah? Or are you full of shit, Tim? You know that Trump has a poisoned brand, so you're now trying to poison AOC with that shit? Dickhead.
Very, very similar in many ways. They're e-celeb personality. Well, Trump's a legit celebrity. AOC is a celebrity, and she knows how...
No, AOC is an elected representative of the people, unlike Donald Trump, who lost the popular vote twice. You know, twice impeached. And also now is just fucking unemployed bum. Just a retiree dude, you know? That's a thing, Tim.
How to play the...
Your tears are delicious, Timothy.
Media game to whip up, controversy or whatever, and that's what this is. Dude, you were protected by Capitol security, okay? They were there guarding the vice president. You do not...
Yeah, but Tim, you twat. There was a guy whose name I've totally forgotten, McGoldrick or something. Anyway, the black dude, right? The security dude who played Pied Piper to the Fash and led them away from, I think, the Senate rather than, strictly speaking, the House of Representatives. But even so, they weren't being protected by the Capitol Guard at that point. They were being protected by a Capitol Guard. And he was only doing so because he was able to trick idiots. That's it. Literally, once he walked away from that door, if any of the mindless drones, instead of following the crowd, had turned right down that hallway, they could potentially have murdered the then sitting Vice President of the United States. And potentially, I think, was Mitch McConnell still in there? I can't remember. But there were certainly high-profile people who had not yet been evacuated from that room. So yes, there were in fact many people who very narrowly escaped coming into direct contact with people who had sung about killing them. Or chanted about killing them, whatever.
While I think it was horrifying what happened with people storming the Capitol, I don't think you really...
No, you didn't, Tim. You didn't think it was horrible at all. You were literally on the verge of orgasm during your entire video on the subject.
...had much to worry about. A woman was shot and killed by one of these Capitol security guards.
Yeah.
The Capitol Police.
Well, she shouldn't have resisted arrest then, should she, Tim? She was told very strictly by police. I'm just using their analogies against them, right? I'm just using their thing. She was no angel, Tim, right? She had a past with law enforcement issues. She had broken into a federal building she had no right to be in. She was trying to climb through an a broken window in a door to try and get to the Senate, which again she had no right in being because she was not an elected representative of the people, Tim. She had no right being in that room at that time. They do tours and stuff, don't they? But at that moment, there was, in theory, a sitting taking place. She was told by the police to get back with guns pointed at them, and she refused to do so. Now, George Floyd was murdered. This woman was just killed. I'm sorry to have to put it that way. That's just the way it is. She could have, at any point in the long series of decisions she made to get to the point where she was shot, and she shouldn't have been shot in the sense that I hope this event shouldn't have happened at all. She should still be alive, thinking her absurd QAnon bullshit thoughts. She should still be alive. But she chose to make a series of very deliberate decisions, at any point she could have backed out of, that led her to that place. She was killed. George Floyd was murdered. There's a very significant difference.
Police had their guns trained on a bunch of unarmed people who stormed in. Now, some of these people brought weapons to D.C., but they didn't bring them inside. That's my understanding. Many of them had...
No, many of them did. And the guy had fucking zip ties that are makeshift handcuffs, in essence. That's, yeah. Tim, stop lying. They'd planted pipe bombs outside both the RNC and DNC. Again, this is not entirely party political, okay? This cancer goes so much further than just the political spectrum on this occasion.
Flex cuffs, or flexi cuff, whatever you call them. I don't think you were narrowly escaping death because we have security protocols and they evacuated...
Tim, you said and agreed with the concept that throwing a milkshake at Andy No and punching him in the head once is attempted murder. Don't you fucking dare patronise both AOC and everyone else listening to this by daring to suggest that this is being overplayed. Because you're full of shit.
Evacuated you in line with those protocols. However, I will absolutely defend AOC and all the members of Congress because while she may be scared, and I believe wrong, it's not her fault that these attacks happened. It's not her fault that these people stormed into the building. No, that's on the people who stormed into the building. So listen, if you're upset with what she's saying, well, listen, that she got the opportunity to make these claims and prop herself up and cry victim because people actually stormed.
Dude, she's not crying victim. She is the victim in this case. People have sent her death threats. They were going there. There is fucking recorded footage of people asking, where's AOC? Where's Nancy Pelosi? Where's Mike Pence? They're trying to find out where these people are. Now, do you think, Tim, that this violent mob of criminals, every single one of them has committed a crime by doing this, do you think they're asking where they are because they seek peaceful redress of grievance? Or do you think people with zip ties are trying to take hostages and potentially murder them?
Formed in. I think she'd earn more points if she was a bit calmer about it and said, look, if it were me, I'd say, I don't know what these people intended. You saw what the reports from the prosecutors was. You saw the flex cuffs they had. They weren't coming here playing games. Some people were acting stupid, but stupid people often provide cover for the crazies. We've seen it with Antifa. So whether or not you want to...
Again, Tim, when you can't criticise these other people without A, downplaying their shit and going, but also Antifa, you're a fascist. Okay? You're a fascist.
Go that far and say, they were going to kill us, so we're doomed. I think
no, she's not saying, oh, we're doomed. Again, you've added that. They're saying, yeah, they were trying to kill us, which they were trying to kill her. Among other people. She wasn't the only person. But had they had the opportunity to get hold of her, they'd have murdered her, Tim. Be under no illusions of that. Oh, well, he's not under any illusions. He's lying. He's a liar.
I think they go way too far when they then accuse sitting members of Congress of threatening their lives.
You accused a sitting member of Congress? Tim, just fucking sit... Well, he's already sat down, but you get the idea. Fucking hell. She's accused people in the Congress.
NPR reports. In an hour-long Instagram Live Tuesday night, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez described her personal experience last week when a violent mob of pro-Trump extremists...
By the way, did you see? On, actually, I think I screenshotted it, but it might have been on my laptop, I forget. Yeah, Ocasio-Cortez, she did another live stream thing. She was chatting about stuff on Twitch, which, by the way, I'm on Twitch. Go and follow me on Twitch. But also probably go and follow AOC, because she does occasionally do some bits. Anyway, where are we? And, yeah, she got like 400,000, I think it was. Do I have... no, it must have been on my laptop, I think. Yeah, no, it was. Okay, never mind. Yeah, she had over 400,000 people live watching on Twitch. That would be massive on YouTube. She got that on Twitch, live streaming. That is phenomenal. She genuinely has the potential to be not revolutionary in the like Russian Revolution sense, but revolutionary in terms of being one of the first to really truly harness social media and the potential for like live streaming and communicating beyond and around the mainstream media and their kind of manufactured consent model of filtering information. She could be genuinely revolutionary in that sense and being directly talking to people, especially younger people who are going to be the voters of tomorrow type situation. It's an incredibly exciting potential thing to watch out for.
Breached the Capitol and forced lawmakers into hiding. I had a pretty traumatizing event happen to me, and I do not know if I can even disclose the full details of that event due to security concerns. But I can tell you that I had a very close encounter where I thought I was going to die. She added, Wednesday was an extremely traumatizing event, and it is not an exaggeration to say that many members of the House were nearly assassinated. It's just not an exaggeration to say that at all. It literally is, okay?
No, it literally isn't, Tim. It literally isn't. They went there to try and assassinate them and got relatively close. Like I say, Mike Pence and I think it was Mitch McConnell and possibly someone else was still in the chamber when that black police officer guy led them away. And again, that was one dude. That he couldn't have realistically protected them had they gone down that hallway, which is why he didn't go down that hallway. He's a very smart lad. Very smart lad indeed. So it's not an exaggeration, Tim. You going on about, there's going to be a civil war in the Netherlands, like you understand the politics of the Netherlands. You don't even understand the politics of America, Tim, let alone those of the Netherlands. And by the way, to all of my Dutch comrades, stay safe. I love you all. I know things are a bit rough there in terms of there are riots and COVID shit going down, but it's not a civil war. Clearly, it's not a civil war. And the fact that Tim has tried to rustle that up suggests that he's not exactly allergic to the concept of exaggeration.
Okay, I'm sorry, it is. We were very lucky that things happened within certain minutes that allowed members to escape the House floor unharmed, but many of us narrowly escaped death. I'm sorry. I will not sit here and pretend the United States federal security apparatus would collapse under the weight of a bunch of angry Trump supporters.
It did, Tim. We fucking saw it. We saw it happen. It did happen, okay? And it's coming out, by the way, that the reason the National Guard weren't called in early is because Trump, days beforehand, had said that they weren't allowed to go in without his expressed authority, an authority he wasn't prepared to give because he wanted this to take place. Trump was in on this. There's no fucking doubt about it. That's not conspiracy shit. That's a thing he wrote on paper that's now out there, okay? They knew this was going to take place. They wanted this to take place. They tried to do a coup, Tim.
And don't get me wrong, they did storm the building. All right? That just exposes there were some weaknesses. And boy, was that...
Eugene Goodman, thank you. Apologies, my name is... I'm terrible with names. Anyway. Oh, someone's shouting in the chat. In every single political race, Donald Punk entered. He claimed it was rigged. To me, well, I'm not reading that word, are deliberately obtuse. What about the deep state? That let the opposition win the election. Poop emoji. Okay. As it was all caps, I thought that was going to be like, Trump's awesome! Anyway. Yeah, no, you've got a point, I suppose. Hugo Fulkov. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, yeah. Tim's now literally trying to gaslight people into thinking that the memory we all have, and literally film you can go and see, of the security apparatus at that building collapsing didn't take place. So we can just go, I can't imagine that ever happening. Why would that ever happen? We saw it fucking happen, Tim. I agree, it shouldn't have happened. There's no fucking way. I assumed that if you went anywhere near any of those big federal buildings, like the Capitol building, the White House, like the fucking Lincoln Memorial, the Washington Memorial, all of that shit, if you went anywhere near that with violent intent, that fucking, I don't know, you'd be drone striked or something. Like, I had assumed that the security apparatus around those buildings was so intense that this kind of thing couldn't happen. But we all saw it happen, Tim. We all saw it. You saw it and loved it.
Pathetic on the part of the federal government, I got to tell you. But the idea that she was ever in danger, I'm sorry, I just don't really believe it. I think...
So his whole argument here is just, well, I don't believe it. I don't give two fucks what you believe, really, Tim. You believed that Trump was going to win in a 49-state landslide. You don't know what you're talking about. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is literally saying she felt very, very threatened by people who had threatened her and brought weapons to at least take hostages, if not necessarily kill. And some of them definitely would have tried to kill her. And you're just going, no. No, I don't believe it. No. That's not an argument, Timothy. That's just naysaying. And that is dumb.
I think the federal security system, the apparatus, is much too powerful. Now, I definitely think...
But we all saw that it wasn't on this occasion. In general, it is. In general, actually, police need to tone it the fuck down in a lot of places. But in the Capitol building, they may need to tone it the fuck up quite a lot. Because that was a national disgrace, Tim. People of the world saw the American infrastructure collapse to the point where we had primordial bullshit. You had like fucking the QAnon shaman doing fucking prayers in the Senate. Like, your nation was humiliated. Absolutely humiliated. The name of America was dragged through pig shit that day. It's going to take a lot to get past that. But there's no doubt America has the resources to be able to do that. And now it has at least a competent government, it might be able to. We'll wait and see. But America's reputation in the world took a beating that day.
For a lot of political reasons, namely D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser being worried about optics and the National Guard being worried about optics, there wasn't enough security in the first place.
No, Trump had purposefully done this, Tim. Now, this was on the 15th of January he put this video out. So I don't know that necessarily the information that I'm now telling you about the Trump Miller memorandum on the National Guard was released. I don't think it was at this point. But I know for a fact Tim hasn't put a video out on that, correcting himself, because he doesn't do that. He just puts out clickbaity, sensationalist, Civil War trash. He's a Civil War LARP, is what he is.
There's a big difference between being prepared for foreign adversaries and being prepared for a bunch of angry Americans, whether you agree with them or not. I don't think AOC was at risk. Well, I'll put...
But you're a liar. Maybe a little bit. Fuck off.
But there was Capitol Police barricading the doors, and these people struggled to find out where... Like, they didn't even know where...
Tim, they barricaded the doors, but they didn't stop them getting in, did they? They got into those rooms. So there's no way in which you can say, like, oh, they had the situation under control. No, they fucking didn't. No, they fucking didn't.
They were going, okay? They walked right past the doors to the main chamber. That's the crazy thing. So, but
listen how downbeat he sounds about that. Oh, they had the chance. They were so close.
At the point where these people got in, AOC and everybody were long gone, taken away to a secure area. There's some...
No, not long gone, Tim. Not long gone at all. In some cases, seconds, minutes. There were literally pictures of people huddling behind the seats, not knowing what the fuck was happening. They weren't like, oh, they were on the beach in Maui, sipping fucking champagne and cocktails before they even got into the rooms. They were perfectly safe. No, they weren't. They were huddled in a room, some of whom managed to get, some of whom got COVID because the Republicans refused to wear masks. Well done. Because they were all huddled in a room together and they refused to wear masks because Republicans are scum. And, yeah, they were not safe, Tim. Anything could have happened.
Risk for sure. There were crazy people there. They could have done crazy things. So I'm not going to pretend like, I'm not trying to put this on AOC and blame her. Absolutely not. I think
no, you're
she's
just trying to
justified in
downplay
complaining
it.
about it for sure. I just think she needs to tone down accusing the Republicans of wanting to kill her, right?
Yeah, you need to tone down the criticism of the Republicans. The left, on the other hand, are all violent communist extremists who need to be exterminated. But don't criticise the right. That, right there, that sentence, that obviously sarcastic sentence I just said, that's literally Tim's entire grift.
They say in her video on Tuesday, she said she felt unsafe in the secure room where she was held with other lawmakers. Quote, I myself did not even feel safe going to that extraction point because there were QAnon and white supremacist sympathizers and, frankly, white supremacist members of Congress in that extraction point who I know and who I had felt would disclose my location and allow me to, who would create opportunities to allow me to be hurt, kidnapped, etc.
Yes, Tim. I know you're going to deny this now, but again, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think, was in that room. I'm pretty sure she was. Lauren Boebert definitely was. and they both believe that she's part of a satanic pedophile cult and have called for the execution of these people. So, yeah, I think that's a perfectly reasonable thought to have crossed AOC's mind.
Listen, I really don't think AOC is the primary target for anybody. I think...
Have you seen the amount of videos you've done on her, Tim? Because you don't seem to realise that she's the main target for you, let alone lots of other people. Look, she's one of the main targets for the entire American right, because she represents a more radical, whatever, more left-wing perspective.
Actually, as much as a lot of conservatives don't like AOC, a part of them actually does. It's a weird thing, but I think...
What the fuck are you talking about?
AOC is a populist. She pokes the establishment bare. I think most Republicans and conservatives, especially the ones who had, ill intent, don't view AOC as all that bad. Just...
What are you talking about? They see her as a communist, and they've called for the killing of communists. You're a fucking liar. Look, it literally seems to think if you just call someone a populist, it imbues them with some magical set of like, immunities to other populism or something, or to other populists. Like, populists are going to go, right-wing populists are going to go, oh, she's a left-wing populist, that's okay. No, right-wing populists, or fascists, as they've typically been called, have put left-wing populists in fucking concentration camps and death camps and ovens, Tim. And given half the chance, the QAnon shaman and his ilk would happily do so again. Okay? Now, on this occasion, they didn't have ovens with them. They did have zip ties. They did have knives. Some of them had guns. They'd planted pipe bombs. You get the idea. They had erected an, albeit very flimsy, noose outside of the building.
Not that smart. I'm sure there are a lot of people. I mean, she's famous, so she's probably got serious threats. I understand how that works. I think they were looking at people like Schumer and Pelosi after, decades in office. So I really do hope that...
Oh, yeah, this was entirely about term limits. This was just concerned citizens caring about term limits. Fuck off, Tim.
All these people are safe and secure. But you see what AOC's doing here? Referring to Republicans as white supremacists?
Yeah, no, she said there are some that are white supremacists. I don't think she said all of them were, Tim. What was the exact quote? Feel safe. Frankly, white supremacist members of Congress. Yeah, so she's saying there are some who are white supremacists. And they are, Tim. They just are. I mean, I know Steve King isn't there anymore, but he was there for a while. And he was overt about it. Typically, Republicans have tended to be a little more shy about their obvious racist and racial supremacist viewpoints, but, not much more in many cases.
It's like she wants the conflict. This stuff is just so insane.
Unlike you, Tim, you don't want any conflict, do you? You definitely don't want a civil war. Except all the times you've called for being prepared for a civil war. You've outright said there is a civil war. Apart from all those times, though,
Now, I mentioned the Lauren Boebert situation. Vox says a fight over metal detectors reveals how broken Congress really is. They cannot stop me. Some Republicans express outrage over new security after January 6th. The tensions are hot, man. Lauren Boebert wants to conceal carry because the Second Amendment says you have a right to the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Yeah, but that doesn't literally mean shall never be infringed in any way. There are already loads of them, Tim. So don't just... That talking point is so bullshit. It's obviously been found perfectly inside the confines of the Constitution that there are infringements that are allowed. Washington, D.C., the city in which the Capitol building resides, has very strict gun regulations. By American standards, which are still farcically loose by everyone else's standards, it would seem. But whatever. So, again, Tim, your knowledge of constitutional matters is a little simplistic.
And she actually is allowed to carry a weapon in her office. I believe it can be in a case, unloaded, and brought to her office, and then they can have that.
But why? She's not in any danger, Tim. You just said she's not in any danger whatsoever in the Capitol building, so why would she ever need a gun? What's going to happen there?
I think they're allowed to carry it throughout the Capitol. And
No,
she
they're
may
not,
have, we don't
Tim.
know.
No.
The left was calling for her arrest. Do you have any idea what would happen if the police arrested a sitting member of Congress? You want to...
What's special about sitting members of Congress? If they commit crimes, they should be arrested for that. I don't see why this... Why, Tim, again, you claim to be a populist, and yet you seem to want to lick the boot here. I'll say it. I don't give a fuck. If AOC commits a crime, she should be arrested for that. If Chuck Schumer does a crime, he should be arrested. If Mitch McConnell does a crime, he should be arrested. These people should be arrested. These people are not above the law, Tim. They certainly shouldn't be. Now, the idea of not being able to arrest a sitting president, I understand there are reasons for that, but I don't think it should be the case. I don't think anyone in a country should be above the law. But you do. You think they're special somehow.
light things up and kick things off, that's how you do it. Please do not do that. I don't think you have to worry about these people killing you or anything. That's insane.
So why does she need a gun then, Tim? She's safe in the building. The Capitol security have got that building on lockdown, apparently. So why does she need a gun at all?
But man, I feel like I'd be lying if I didn't at least say we may be walking to that point.
Fucking hell.
Listen, we're at the point now where there are Democrats asserting that members of Congress, Republicans, want to kill them.
Yeah, and we've got Republicans who are going on about the Democrats wanting to kill babies, making up shit like was it partial birth abortions and stuff. Like, Tim, the idea, and again, I know it's your entire grift, but the idea that it's all the Democrats and none of the Republicans that are doing this is farcical.
Is that not Civil War territory?
No.
Can I get a I told you so?
No, you can't, Tim, because it isn't a civil war. America's nowhere near close to a civil war, by the way. There needs to be a lot more shit going on than this. If you look into how the original Civil War got kicked off, the situation was so much worse than this. Jesus Christ. There is, realistically, Tim, you're enormously far away from the Civil War you want, okay? Now, that's not to say that a spark can't set things in motion that leads to a civil war. That can happen basically anywhere at any time, in theory. But no, you can't get a you were right, because you aren't right. America is not in a civil war situation. They just elected Joe Biden president, which would suggest, you know, that they want a kind of boring, stable government. That's not typically the actions of a populace on the edge of like revolt. And you've also mentioned yourself earlier that a third of Trump supporters don't support him anymore. So it seems that even the morass of fascist garbage is at least, you know, being emptied to some extent.
It's freaky, man. So for me, I'll tell you what I want to do. You know what I want to do? I want to stay away from all of that stuff. I want people to just chill out, read a book, watch a movie.
You're fomenting civil war on various continents, Tim. What are you talking about? You want everyone to calm down. Suck a dick.
Mind your own business. Calm down. Calm down. Get away from DC.
Calm down. Civil war. Calm down. Civil war.
All right. Put on a movie, turn off the internet, and just chill. I really am worried that people might go to DC. So I'm grateful to our National Guardsmen who are protecting the Capitol. Because like I said, man, I am no fan of Joe Biden. I've called him crooked. I think he's bad. But
I want everyone to calm down. But I am going to try and undermine the current president. Okay, cool.
We do not solve our problems with any kind of extreme conflict and people getting hurt or anything like that. No, you solve it through culture, inspiration, and persuasion.
No, you solve it via dance-off. Tell me I'm wrong.
It's not easy. It is absolutely not easy. But I'll tell you, you look at what Black Lives Matter did throughout this year, smashing and destroying.
Here we go. Oh, Tim's doing his fucking classic, his best of, his greatest hits. Yeah, BLM, Antifa, Civil War. Calm down. BLM, Antifa, Civil War. Calm down.
A lot of people seem to think they're winning, and I'm like, they're not. That damaged their cause. They lost.
Motherfucker, they've actually gotten things achieved. Their support for BLM has actually increased significantly since before the summer. So again, you're just incorrect, Tim.
Out. Now, I do believe there should be some kind of censure, at least, of, say, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's staff for bailing out the rioters. That you can at least do.
So about Trump, by the way, Tim, who was literally, as these motherfuckers were trying to kill AOC, going, "You're very special, we love you." That's okay? Oh, okay, cool.
And we can absolutely go after these individuals who stormed the gates. That's something that needs to happen. But let me show you how crazy things are getting. The New York
How
Post
crazy are
is
they getting,
banning
Tim?
CNN, MSNBC, the Washington Post, and the New York Times as primary sources. The divide in what we read. And
So the right wing are cancelling CNN, MSNBC. Call it what it is, Tim. Hang on. I'm going to call it what it is. It's cancel culture. Hang on. There we go.
Logan's amazing. Conservatives of cancel culture. Cocks and penis.
It's cancel culture, Tim. The New York Post, which is a Murdoch Empire rag, is now banning CNN, MSNBC, Washington Times, and the Washington Post, and the New York Times as primary sources. So that's the conservative outlet banning other news sources because they don't like them, because they're left wing or more to the left than them. Interesting. But you're not calling that. You're not calling that cancel culture. I wonder why, Tim. I wonder why. The crazy SJW woke scolds over at the New York Post, these wokelets, engaging in cancel culture, they'll be the death of the Western world, blah, blah, blah.
what we understand is becoming so pronounced that even mainstream newspapers are decoupling. The New York Post would say CNN
Conscious
reported this.
decoupling.
Now they won't do it anymore. Why? Because CNN puts out fake news. CNN put out an article.
Unlike the New York Post, which literally put out that fake Hunter Biden story that they knew was fake. Okay.
Stelter talking about the domestic terrorists who stormed the Capitol.
They were domestic and
Little
are domestic
did,
terrorists.
He report on the fact that Anderson Cooper actually hosted one of these individuals and pretended the guy was like a journalist.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know the New York Times is not left wing, but compared to like the New York Post, they're at least relatively liberal by comparison. Again, I know it's not like
We now know, thanks to the FBI arrest affidavit, that this individual was cheering and celebrating and egging on the rioters as though he was a rioter. This guy, John Sullivan.
Oh, they love it. The one dude who went to an Antifa thing, who, by the way, was kicked out of the Antifa thing in Seattle because he was obviously like there to try and provoke violence. He's just a violent lunatic. He might have some left-wing views. That's perfectly possible. But he's a violent lunatic, right? Who went and was given the opportunity by these right-wingers to do violence. Like, what the fuck?
CNN's hyper-partisan. That's just the reality. And as we see the divide hit in...
Oh, don't call me British Vosh. My dick's way bigger than his.
Media, it's only going to exacerbate hyperpolarization.
I am silly, aren't I? I'm not playing the fucking noise from the adverts. Bollocks to that.
From the Daily Mail. New poll says 2/3 of Republicans approve of Donald Trump's behavior even after MAGA riot. And supporters of both
but a
parties
third
say
doesn't
the country is tearing itself apart. This, my friends, I'm showing you now, is the Real Clear Politics average. Would you be at all surprised if I told you that Donald Trump's disapproval is not at an all-time high?
No, Tim, I wouldn't be surprised. 12 inches? Are you joking? It's like a fucking Pringles tube. It's amazing. It's astonishing. Why are they calling me British Vosh? Is that a thing? I'm blowing up. Well, thank you. I mean, my waistline is massive, yes.
Oh, his approval ratings dropped dramatically to one of its lowest positions yet. But would you be surprised if I told you Donald Trump's approval rating is not at an all-time low? His disapproval, not at an all-time high. In fact, Donald Trump's approval rating right now is 39.7% in the aggregate, floating around 40%. Donald Trump's presidential average...
Oh, yeah, he was still president at this point, wasn't he? Like, he still had 5 days to go or something, yeah. Kev versus Vosh, your country is shit, and here's why. 5 hours. The thing is, right, I would definitely do that, Hangout. That would be fucking fun. But the thing is, we'd both agree that the other country was shit and that your own country was shit. I think that it would be 5 hours of not just your country is shit, but my country is shit too. So that would be, yeah, that would be good. Anyway.
Average is around 43%. He's down a little bit. That's it. Take a look at this. Rasmussen.
No, he's not down a little bit, Tim. We can see the line. It's vertically down. Since the fucking... I mean, this is on the 15th, so if we go back a few days, so that's basically the 3rd, right? It's like a week before. So, 2 weeks, whatever. And that line is going almost vertically down. And similarly, his disapproval has gone almost vertically up. That's not down a little bit, is it? That's from like 44% down to 39, and from his disapproval from 53 up to 58. So it's a swing of like 10% up and down, like the difference in a week or two or whatever, you know.
Has Trump's approval rating at 48%. Now, that's one poll. It's Rasmussen. Many people say they're biased, but they were.
Yeah, Rasmussen are far right. Not far right, but right-wing hacks, certainly. They're certainly not to be trusted. I'd want to be going to Christy Winters, Dr. Christy Winters, who this is literally her ballpark. But I think she's given the side eye to Rasmussen as well. So
were one of the most accurate polls in 2016, if not the most accurate. But take a look at this. ABC News has Trump's approval rating at 38%. That's amazing.
Yeah. They're all hovering at that sort of place, like 48, 38, 41, 35. So there's not that much difference, really.
Gov, 41%. Reuters, 35. Hill Harris X, 44. Quinnipiac, 33.
NPR, 39.
48%, 41%, 44%. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, choose the biggest numbers, Tim. That's how that works. Just choose the big numbers you like. And even there, still below 50.
Donald Trump is maintaining large swaths of the country in his base.
Right, but 39%, Tim. Which means, what, 6 out of 10 people disapprove of the job he was doing at the end there? 6 out of 10. That means very, very significant swathes of the country don't like him. Which is why Biden, who is not a massively inspirational candidate, let's not pretend he is, got the record vote ever. Beat him by millions.
After everything we've seen. And I tell you this, I disapprove of the way Trump handled himself with these tweets. Now, we've learned, even from CNN, that the storming of the Capitol...
See, that's as much as it gets, though. I disapprove of that. Like, it's the weakest possible... Like, it's not even a denunciation, it's just, I don't like it, rather than, it's fucked up.
It was pre-planned. Trump did not incite anybody. They were already there while Trump was still speaking. They had already breached the barrier.
He told them to go there. He literally said, he said he was going to march with them. Obviously he wasn't. He was going to throw them under the bus. But he told them to go to that place. He riled them up. Fucking Rudy Giuliani had gone on about having a trial via combat. Like, what are you talking about? Fucking Ted Cruz on the radio the day before said, go to Washington, D.C. on the 6th. It's going to be wild.
Trump was still speaking. And before Trump could even realize what was going on, he said, peacefully march to cheer on politicians. Now, after they stormed in and the speech was over, Trump didn't march with anybody, and he didn't...
Yeah, he lost his arse. Yeah. He totally fucking bottled it. He lost his fucking backbone and his spine. He was a pathetic coward and didn't go and march with them. He said he would, didn't do it. Yeah, I agree with you, Tim. He's a flaccid penis of a man.
He just said Mike Pence has, not done what we need to do. He should have come out and said, yo, stop. What are you doing?
Yeah, he should have done, shouldn't he? He didn't, though.
I think these people who stormed the Capitol, Trump supporters second, if they are Trump supporters. I don't know what you'd call them. Right-wing rioters, I guess.
Can we deal with the person in the chat, please, who's the racialisms, man, whoever they are? And thank you.
But the people who really did support the president wanted to see Donald Trump speak. You see the difference? No.
Thank you to the mods, by the way. The mods are awesome.
Don't get me wrong, the people who stormed the Capitol probably are Trump supporters, just not first and foremost. So where do we go from here? With all of these people supporting the president, with Democrats claiming they narrowly avoided death and that, you know, they think the Republican colleagues are going to kill them, we see scary stories like this.
Okay, so we've got some very funny people in the chat who want to spam the N-word. That's very funny, isn't it? We'll wait for them to go away and I'll put the thing back on the screen. I'll add some more moderate. Socialix is a good dude. Add moderator. Who else is around that I know? Geraint Jones is a good dude. Where are we? Blue Jay Rhodes, I think. That's a name I recognise, so we'll have that. Mumoof, good person. Apologies if I've missed anyone that was... I'm racist to Tim Pool's beanie. Don't be racist to anyone. By all means, mock Tim Pool's beanie. Yeah. Oh, no, that was... Oh, there we go. Okay. Fuck's sake. Anyway.
Delta puts 880 people on no-fly list over masks, others for unruly behavior. Now, let me just pause for a second. I personally don't care about masks. I say it all the time. I got this really cool mask. I wear it. It's fine. I'm not worried.
Yeah, but lots of people on the right do care about it, Tim. They really do care. Oh, hang on. No, oh, no. Sorry, I'm trying to add another moderator. Apologies. Oof. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, ban these idiots as soon as they crop upload.
Worried about it. And just because people are being banned over masks doesn't mean they're Trump supporters.
No, but there's a fair, strong correlation, isn't there? There's a fair correlation, because he decided to politicize it because he's a cockhead, you know.
We did hear that Alaska Air put 14
killed hundreds of thousands of people.
And the left is defending this. This is war on terror level stuff. We don't want this. People being falsely accused. There's one individual now, stories going on. I'm not going to say their name, but apparently they took a photo of themselves at the Capitol, not in the building. Just like, hey, look, we're here in D.C. And they got fired from their job because the left doxed them and the company was like, we won't support them.
Oh, no, the right wing don't dox anyone, unlike when they doxed me and swatted me. You know, but that's different, Tim, isn't it? Yeah. Fuck you.
What's going to happen is regular people who didn't do anything wrong and just went to see the president speak are going to start losing their jobs because the left will dox them. Then they're going to have no choice but to find places to work that will accept them. So what happens then? Well, good luck working in a blue state. They're going to be like, oh, we can't have that. But go to a red state and they're going to be like, we don't care. You go to Wyoming and West Virginia, that's Trump country. That's MAGA country. They're going to be like...
Yeah, and they've got the worst cases in terms of spikes when there are lower population densities. Like, if you look at it, basically, if you look at the total number and you look at the population map, they're basically the same. Most of them are in Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, Houston, you know, Dallas, those big cities, right? But the MAGA country type places have a worse population density to overall number spike ratios in the entirety of America, because they don't enforce mask mandates, among other things.
Like, oh, you were in D.C. And they're like, yep. I'm like, whatever.
Of course they have SWAT teams here in Britain. The average copper doesn't have a gun, which is good, but they do. Of course they have SWAT teams. Like, if there's an armed response needed, they have armed police. Yeah.
Come work. This is going to cause people to leave these areas because they have no choice. We now see Amtrak wants the no-fly list to apply to trains as well.
No, Trump's speech was on the 6th. Like, Trump spoke at the rally that then turned into the riot, or the insurrection, yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of people falsely accused. They're going to be falsely put on no-fly lists, like we saw in the past with the War on Terror. And then it's...
You know my favourite one? My favourite member of the no-fly list? Dr. Carolyn Borisenko. LOL.
Going to create this underclass of individuals who struggle to find work. And I know the left says, that's the free market, man. Well, not literally. The free...
Yeah, but literally, there is no free market, Tim. It's mocking your position that the free market should run everything, when clearly that isn't the case. It's mocking you, although you wouldn't know that because you don't have a brain.
Market is supposed to be, you know, you can buy and sell what you want. But arguably...
Which doesn't exist, as we saw from the stonks thing.
Does point out a flaw in the free market. The problem is that if there is a culture that tells...
No, I wasn't... I was suggesting, I wasn't talking about the politics of Houston. I just meant it's got lots of people. So I was saying the number of COVID cases is almost directly correlated to the number of people and the density of population. But I was saying that Trump areas, which are less densely populated, have a significant increase, or significantly higher than their population density would naturally correlate to, because they're not enforcing mask mandates and things like that.
Tells you can't do something out of fear of punishment culturally, it's more powerful than politics and more powerful than just a raw market. And that's where things get truly scary. That's where zealotry and authoritarianism comes into play and becomes powerful.
You are so desperate for authoritarianism, Tim. You're so thirsty for it.
You don't want that.
You
really,
do,
really
Tim.
do not want that. I mean, think about what that means. You will be going to the store, your credit card won't work. You'll open your phone, your apps won't work. You said the wrong thing to a friend, and we heard you. Why? Because you got them little robots that's spying you all the time, or your phone, which is listening, right?
Well, Tim, I'll take you back for a second to, where was the thing he showed? No, there we go. Tim, because CNN said the wrong thing, the New York Post has cancelled them. You were okay with that, though. You were perfectly fine with that.
The raw market. And that's why, because you got them little robots that's spying you all the time, or your phone, which is listening, right? They do listen, but they argue it's not for the reason you think. No, eventually someone's going to falsely report you, and then you are...
Please stay safe in Tennessee. Tennessee, comrade.
Out of luck. I have a Ukrainian friend, and I was hanging out at her place years ago, and it was like this old communist block housing, just like really generic, weird-looking buildings. And she told me that her neighbor, the apartment next to her, there was years ago during the Soviet Union, the person who lived there was getting into a fight with the person who lived in her building, you know, in her apartment unit. These people are gone. But during the Soviet Union...
The fuck is he rambling on about now?
The neighbors were fighting. And so one neighbor called the Communist Party, the police or whatever, and said, my neighbor is saying anti-communist things and insulting the party. The next day, the apartment was empty and the person was gone. Off to the gulag with you.
I'm almost certain that story isn't true, but Tom Poole. Anyway, Tim, you know, in America, you've got like the Karens who are like ringing up and trying to get black people arrested, and very often succeeding in doing so. Like, that happens now. If you go against the American ruling establishment now, that happens. The idea that communist Russia was some massive dystopia compared to America is a little bit silly. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm no stand for the USSR, but the idea that in America that doesn't happen is a joke. It's a silly, silly joke, isn't it, Timothy?
All it took was them to say, yeah, lie. This person lied because they were...
Oh, yeah, and the gulags didn't exist after 1954 or something, whenever it was. So, yeah, he's just... Tim Paul's lying, basically. Or his friend lied, and Tim was like, well, that fits with my pre-existing notions of what the USSR was. So, good. I'll just repeat that ad nauseum. Oh, no, verbatim, sorry. And ad nauseum, potentially. Without checking it.
They were having an argument. Is that what's going to happen? What happens now when someone just says, now's my chance to falsely smear someone? And they do. Why would anyone want to live in a society like that?
Why would anyone want to live in a society where the New York Post is just cancelling other media outlets? Why would anyone want to live in a society where specific media outlets were banned by the White House, for instance, Tim, which happened under Donald Trump and you defended? Do you remember? Do you remember that, Tim? Like, your fucking crocodile tears over some right-wing shitheads not being allowed on planes for a little while. I don't care, Tim. I don't fucking care. I will drink your tears. I will bathe my genitals in your tears. I will use them as lubricant to fuck your mother. Yeah, I said it.
Like, why would you want to be a part of that mob? Eventually they'll turn on you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Why would anyone want to create that? You know what it is? They all think they'll be the ones in charge. They all think they will be the ones on top. Well, you will not be. Because, as Noam Chomsky said, when you enter the arena of violence, the most brutal guy wins. And that ain't us. Referring.
I can't believe he would quote Noam Chomsky as if Noam Chomsky wouldn't think this guy was scum. Like, whatever.
To the left, by the way. And he's right. There's now one dude who got arrested bragging, in one day the right took the effing Capitol, don't poke us. That's kind of crazy. But he's got a point.
No, he doesn't, Tim. And also, can you see how excited Tim is? Oh, the right wing are really brutal and violent. Fuck's sake, Tim. Could you just shut the fuck up, man?
What was the left able to do? Destroy everything? Low grade, lots of destruction. The right.
Well, hang on, Tim. You can't have it both ways. Either the left, and this is absolutely going back to fascists need you to think your enemy is both very, very weak and pathetic, and also a massive threat. Is BLM trying to destroy America and succeeding in doing so, or is it just low grade nonsense? It can't be both, Tim. It doesn't work.
When they got serious, they took the Capitol building. That's crazy, dude. So that's why I think...
Yeah, but they didn't do anything with it, because they've got no fucking brains. They took the Capitol building and then did selfies and had a prayer, and are now going to go to prison for a long time. Whoop-de-fucking-do.
You know, National Guard's out there. They're taking it seriously. They're really worried about what the right will do if they feel that they're threatened, because the left, they don't got it. You know, many people point out the left, they tend to be scrawny and kind of weak. And
unlike you, Tim, who is just one of the most insane beefcakes I've ever seen. Tim, could you put your gun show away? And by gun show, I mean you're made of twigs. You're nothing. What the fuck are you talking about?
And people on the right tend to be, not everybody. I'm not saying literally everybody. But you see these guys who go out and protest and they're like...
based on? What the fuck is this based on? Okay, I'll put up Hassan Arbi, who would literally snap you like a fucking twiglet, you fool.
Either thick, you know, fat, but muscular. And then you look at these left...
Yeah, they are, yeah, the right wing are the Ubermensch, clearly, Timothy, yeah. Yep.
Leftists, and they're small and skinny. Don't get me wrong, they're fat leftists, for sure, I'm just saying.
But no muscly leftists. Skinny or fat. Those are the two types of leftist. Tim, you are 2015, aren't you? You are literally 2015. Fucking hell, man.
The stereotype. You watch these Proud Boy versus Antifa fights, and the Proud Boys are just wailing on them. That's why some went to prison. So here we go. The divide is so extreme that not even someone like Ben Shapiro can get away with writing an article.
Not even someone as moderate and nice as the guy who literally said Palestinians like to live in shit. And ethnic cleansing is awesome. Yeah, moderate Ben Shapiro.
Politico had Ben Shapiro write for their playbook as a guest author. It brought a backlash. The platform given to the right-wing pundit enraged Politico staffers, forcing a top editor to defend the choice. What is controversial about Ben Shapiro?
His support of ethnic genocide against Palestinians would be one among many things. His support of Donald Trump, you know, that sort of thing. His general anti-Muslim demeanour. The way in which he interprets popular music. There's lots of stuff.
He's just a traditional conservative.
Yeah, he is a cunt. Yeah, I agree, Tim. I agree.
He's not far right. He's not, you know.
He is pretty far right. He is pretty far right. He did used to write for Breitbart, you understand. That's a thing.
Oh, alt-right, whatever. He's just a conservative.
Yeah, he's a
How
prick.
crazy is
Yes.
this?
Yeah.
That a news organization would be like, we can't have a conservative right here.
No, you can have conservatives right there. You can have thoughtful, interesting, well-read, not weird fucking freak creature conservatives. They do exist. You can have them right for you. But if you have hateful, bigoted scum like Ben Shapiro, people might not think that was super based. Just saying.
Here, what are you doing? There are people posting online saying you're emboldening fake news. It was really funny. One employee of Politico.
Dude, you've literally in the same video said it's super awesome that the New York Post is cancelling all of these other things, all of these other news organisations, but Ben Shapiro still being allowed to write the article. The article wasn't pulled. People complaining about Ben Shapiro writing an article. That's super bad, and that's cancel culture. Like, fuck off, Tim.
Politico wrote, how can I tell people we're real news when we publish Ben Shapiro? You can tell them you're real news because you publish Ben Shapiro.
Do you want to suck his dick any harder, Tim? Go on. You might be able to swallow him whole. He's only like 2 feet tall. You might be able to ingest Ben Shapiro.
He's just a guy with an opinion. If you don't think he's right...
That is literally the most reductive way you could ever describe anything. He's just a guy with an opinion. That is technically true. Hitler was a guy with an opinion too. And I know you're saying to yourself, Kev, that is very bad to compare a Jewish guy to Adolf Hitler. Yeah, they were both in support of ethnic genocide, weren't they? Ben Shapiro and Adolf Hitler. Just saying.
Look, not every person who puts out opinions, they're right. Sometimes people have bad opinions and they're wrong. I know I do. It happens all the time.
Not true, Tim. Trump did win in a 49-state landslide, as you predicted. Clearly that's true. Isn't it, Timothy?
I don't think I'm the smartest person in the world. But do they really think that all of their leftist personalities and their opinions are 100% based in fact and reality?
No. Who the fuck is saying this? His extrapolations are nonsense.
That's nuts. These people are nuts.
Unlike QAnon guy who's just a bit wacky. He wasn't going to do anything. But someone who doesn't like Ben Shapiro, they're nuts. Do you see how it's really easy to dissect his nonsense? Fucking hell.
I'll tell you what worries me is, looping this back together, AOC, these Democrats making these claims. If we really are at the point now where they think Republicans will kill them, this is the worst escalation I've ever seen.
This was published 6 days, 9 days after the insurrection at the Capitol. But he thinks AOC saying, I'm scared, is the worst escalation he's ever seen. Like, Tim, oh, you fucking smooth-brained twat. What are you talking about?
Because the fissure is so intense, they actually think they're going to die. Or they're lying to get sympathy. But
I feel like I'm going mad here. Tim, what are you... fucking hell. I'm not going mad, am I? Tim actually saying these things, isn't he? I'm not hearing stuff, am I?
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You know what I mean? That whether they believe it now or not, it's going to create real fear in future Democrats. And that fear will become hate eventually. And that hate...
Oh, God. If he does the fucking Star Wars speech...
will become violence. And I hope it does not. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to get away from it all.
I'm just going to publish loads more videos about there being civil war in various countries. Calm down, civil war.
I don't have anything to do with any of that nonsense. I want to mind my own business, and you should too.
Yeah, I'm just going to mind my business. Civil war, civil war, civil war. Calm down. Civil war, civil war, civil war. Calm down, everybody. Civil war.
You should want to go out, have a good time, protect your family, have some food, build something.
Cough in the face of an old person, lick doorknobs. Yeah, it's awesome.
Create something, inspire people, build culture. That's what people do.
Build culture. Build culture. He has such a fucking... a reductive understanding of how culture exists and comes into being. Build culture. Let's construct a bit of culture. Everything's culture, Tim. Build. Fucking eat my ass.
I hope everything stays peaceful in the next several days. We'll see. I'll leave it there. Next segment will be tonight at 8 p.m. live at youtube.com/TimCastIRL. Make sure to check it out. We'll be hanging out, taking audience questions, and it'll be like...
That's the end of that, yeah. That's fuck's sake. Tim Paul. What a cockhead. What an absolute cockhead. Really. He's such a knob, isn't he? He's such a knobhead. Anyway, I think there's a cat at the door. 1 second. I gets me a baby cats. Baby cats. What are you doing, Ricky? He's just had a foodie, so he wants to go outside. Yeah. I'll let him out in a second. How are we all? Are we well? Oh, whoa. Rodicats. There we go. Anyway. Yeah. Tim Paul's an idiot. I think that I think I've already mentioned that, haven't I? I think so. Oh, it's cold. Yes. So, yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow evening. Yeah, because it's 11, so it's still technically tomorrow. 7 p.m. UK time. 2 p.m. on the east coast of Americana land. 7 p.m. in the great nation of Fiji. No, 7 a.m. in the great nation of Fiji. All hail Fiji. Anyway, yeah, we'll talk about all the other stuff that's happening. Did you see now that it's now up to 5 lawyers that Trump had for his impeachment trial that have now resigned? God, he is a joke, isn't he? As well as various other... I think Rudy Giuliani's now being sued by the Lincoln Project, which is fun. So we'll talk about all of that shit, along maybe with some British politics, possibly some more cats and stuff. We'll wait and see how that goes along. You can just see his tail. Just look in the corner there. You can see his tail wagging. And it's gone. Anyway, thank you all for listening and watching. I'll be back tomorrow. Go and check out the Clips channel, please. Give that a little subscribe. Go and give the Twitch channel a little cheeky follow and subscribe if you want to. Subscribe here, because some people watch the videos and they don't subscribe even though they watch the videos. Anyway, go and do that if you can. The Streamlabs is available if you want to toss me some money, as indeed are the PayPal and the Patreon if you want to do regular donations and stuff. All my social medias are there, and the Happy Hour Facebook group. So go and check all of those out, and I will see you all tomorrow evening. On Twitch, I will see who's available, and I'll kick you over to somebody. Where are we at? Raid a channel. What channels are available? We'll kick you over to Casey Explosion, who's pretty badass. And yes, I will see thee. Smash the shit out of the like button as well, yeah. Don't just press it gently. Smash the ever-loving fuck out of the like buttons. And there we go. And I will see you all tomorrow.